Okay, I'm continuing my reading and analyses of J.R. Tolkien, the Silmarillion. He wrote it. He always wanted to put into a book. His son did it after he passed, and it goes back to the formation of the world, even before the first age, how the Earth was formed, and it's got some cool rune writings on it, and consists about the history of the Silmarils, which are the elven jewels, and then which it really starts with what I've been getting into, which is the Anulendel, which is the music of the Aenir, and it's the beginning before there was even matter. It was just spirits and music, and then we get to the Valaquenta, the account of the Valar, and the Akhlabeth, the downfall of Numenor, and the rings of the power of the Third Age. We'll get to that later. And this is my part four. We Levitar, brought the Ainur into existence and told them to start singing, and they sounded, great, like trumpets and viols and organs, and a great music existed, and harmony existed. But then this guy Melkor lusted after power, and he introduced the discord of Melkor, and that music became discordant and became cacophony. And then there was a big a fight between Livator and Melkor, between music, and a great roar started, and Iluvatar rose 3 times and finally raised his 2 hands the third time, and finally the music ceased, and that's where we left off last time. Let's continue. Then Iluvatar spoke, and he said, "Mighty of the Aenir, and mightiest among them is Melkor, that he may know, and all the Aenir, that I am Iluvatar. These things that ye have sung, I will show them forth, and ye may see what ye have done. And thou, Melkor, shalt see that no theme may be played that hath not its uttermost source in me, nor can any alter the music in my despite. For he that attempteth this shall prove but mine instrument in the devising of things more wonderful, which he himself hath not imagined." So you could see, even though Tolkien was a Christian, and he actually, rejected the Second Vatican Council and insisted the Bible be read in Latin and everything, he almost wrote it like a Bible, using the old terms and everything, and it's almost like a genesis of the Bible, really. Then the Aenir were afraid, and they did not yet comprehend the words that were said to them. And Melkor was filled with shame, of which came secret anger. But Iluvatar rose in splendor, and he went forth from the fair regions that he had made for the Aenir, and the Aenir followed him. So it looks like there's a falling out. It's almost like Melkor is the fallen angel, and the Aenir are following him. The angels are following the Iluvatar. When they were coming to the void, Iluvatar said to them, "Behold your music." And he showed to them a vision, giving to them sight where before was only hearing. So here Tolkien, brings into physical existence of the earth. It's almost like in Genesis in the Bible. And they saw a new world made visible before them, and it was globed amid the void, and it was sustained therein, but it was not of it. And as they looked and wondered, this world began to unfold its history, and it seemed to him that it lived and grew. And when the Aenir had gazed for a while and were silent, Iluvatar said again, "Behold your music. This is your minstrelsy. And each of you shall find contained herein, amid the design that I set before you, all those things which may seem that he himself devised or added. And thou, Melkor, wilt discover all the secret thoughts of thy mind, and wilt perceive that they are but a part of the whole and tributary to its glory. The great mystery, perhaps? And many other things Iluvatar spoke to the Aenir at that time, and because of their memory of his words and the knowledge that each has of his music that he himself made, the Aenir know much of what was and is to come, and few things are unseen by them. Ye some things that they cannot see, neither alone nor taking counsel together, for to none but himself has Iluvatar revealed all that he has in store. And in every age there come forth things that are new and have no foretelling, for they do not proceed from the past. And so it was that of this vision of the world was played before them. The Aenir saw that it contained things which they had not yet thought. And then they saw with amazement the coming of the children of Iluvatar. And the habitation was prepared for them, and they perceived that they themselves in the labor of their music had been busy with the preparation of this dwelling, and yet know not that it had any purpose beyond its own beauty. For the children of Iluvatar were conceived by him alone, and they came with the third theme. So this goes back to the third theme when Iluvatar rose the third time and raised both his hands and started the third theme. That's when he conceived his children of Iluvatar. Now he created a physical world for them, and they're now conceiving and coming into being. For the children of Iluvatar were conceived by him alone, and they came with the third theme, and were not in the theme which Iluvatar propounded at the beginning. So, Iluvatar didn't have the children of Iluvatar in mind at the beginning. So that's what he was saying up here, where some things do not proceed from the past, that they're connected to the future. And so the children of Iluvatar, therefore, when they beheld them, the more did they love them, being things other than themselves, strange and free, wherein they saw in the mind of Iluvatar reflected anew, and learned yet a little more of his wisdom, which had otherwise had been hidden even from the Aenir. So it's like, part more of the great mystery is being revealed to the Aenir. Now the children of Iluvatar are elves and men, the firstborn and the followers. So you see now, as the children of Iluvatar are all the different so-called races of men, elves and men. So the elves and men have now come into existence, and that's who the children of Iluvatar were, us. Now the children of Iluvatar are elves and men, the firstborn and the followers. And amid all the splendors of the world and its vast halls and spaces and its wheeling fires, Iluvatar chose a place for their habitation in the deeps of time, and in the midst of the innumerable stars. And this habitation might seem a little thing to those who consider only the majesty of the Aenir, and not only their terrible sharpness, as you should take the whole field of Arda for the foundations of a pillar, and so raise it into the cone of its summit, or more bitter than a needle, or who consider only the immeasurable vastness of the world, which still the Aenir are shaping. So you see, Ardal was the existence at which they started, and it was just music. And now physical world is coming into being. They are still shaping all of that world, helping Livitar shape it, and not the minute precision to which they shape all things therein. But when the Aenir had beheld this habitation in a vision and had seen the children of Livitar rise therein, then many of them, most mighty among them, bent all their thought and their desire towards that place. And of these Melkor was the chief, even as he was in the beginning the greatness of the Aenir who took part in the music. And he feigned, even to himself at first, that he desired to go thither and order all the things for the good of the children of Livitar, controlling the turmoils of the heat and the cold that had come to pass through him. But he desired rather to subdue all his will, both elves and men. There goes Melkor again. He's lying. He's even lying to himself, fooling everybody that he has a secret desire. And Melkor, I'm going to get to later. Melkor reminds me of, I think he was talking about, the corporal, Adolf, who in World War II. And he feigned him even to himself at first, that he desired to go thither and order all the things for the good of the children of Livitar, controlling the turmoils of the heat and the cold that had come to pass through him. But he desired rather to subdue to his will both elves and men, enjoying the gifts with which Livitar promised to endow them. And he wished himself to have subjects and servants, and to be called Lord, and be master over other wills. So that also reminds me, it's probably a precursor to who, eventually the Necromancer, and eventually, of course, Sauron. And so we'll end this reading, and we'll get back into it later. Check back my channel for the next readings and analysis of the Silmarillion.